1, 2, 3. I'm gonna do it in tape. There we go. There we go.
Whatever the mind of man can conceive and bring itself to believe it can achieve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for saying that. And with that, we're going to go jump right into Nikola Tesla because I am going to explain how manifestation is so important, why it's important, and how we can actually shape the reality of our own life. I had this great mentor who was awesome, knows energy, Nikola Tesla, and he said this great quote that everybody lived by. If you wish to understand the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Well, the one thing that he didn't account for is that they're actually the same. Frequency is a vibration, it is a wave, and because it is a frequency, or because it is a wave, it is energy. So actually, he's talking about all the same things at once. We can break down energy a little bit more here, brothers and sisters, and we're going to break it down. By the way, the greatest science book that has ever existed that people do not look at is actually our Bible. Genesis 1 says now, or 1:2 says, now the earth was formless, empty darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Now what does this mean? When we speak of water in the terms of the Bible, I have researched it, I have looked at it, and I will tell you that it means energy. It is talking about a wave. Over and over and over, the water is actually spoken that I flow through you. I am the energy that keeps you going. I am the wave that goes through you, and that's what we're going to talk about today, because this is very important. And as I said in the meditation, we all start in a place where we have no form. We're full of darkness, and that's where it all starts. And what I hear then is, or what I see when I'm going into creation, is that everything absolutely is dark. We start in darkness. And then there's a loud frequency that comes over us. That one loud frequency, or one high frequency and one low frequency. When those two frequencies hit, it creates a static electricity, which creates actually a nuclear bomb, because when we're dealing with a consciousness, or we're dealing with cosmos, we're actually dealing with helium and nitrogen. And that is a gamma ray explosion. When that happens, what is created then is called a trap code. That trap code is seen in a lot of computers, or you would see it as the stars. When we have the stars and we have the different lights, and our light is made from all of these frequencies, what end up happening is we can create a reality. Now why it's so important to know that frequency isn't everything is because it is every single thing. It is the basis of everything. Once you learn how to adapt to frequency, once you learn how to change your frequency, you can change anything in your life. You can change your health, you can change your brain waves, you can change the way that nature and everything moves around it. There's not a single thing that you are going to see in this world that does not have frequency. Everything has frequency. Light has frequency. Wind and waves have frequency. Magnetic and electric fields have frequency. We have brain waves, we have heart waves, we have everything. Every single thing starts with frequency. Now, in just talking about the physical realm, how many times have we been really excited and our heart's been really pounding, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, we gotta calm ourselves. Or we've been in that calm state and then somebody walks through the room or something happens and we get really excited. That's a really easy change in our frequency. We have that ability to change that. We can see that physically, that if I'm excited and I pull myself down, then I can change the rhythm of my heart. We can do the same thing with our mind. And we are part of nature. Everything that we see has frequency. We cannot go away from it. There's not a single thing, as I said, that does not have some kind of frequency, that does not have some kind of rhythm, that does not have some kind of mapping towards it. And with that frequency, as I said, when we decide to change things, we can decide that we're going to speak differently. Now when we look at waves and when we look at frequency, everyone has different frequency wave, or everyone has different waves. Everyone carries a different tone. Now why that's important is because we want to know what tone we're speaking. What are we trying to reach? What are we trying to bring back into our life, and who are we trying to call? Because as you see here, all of these are 500 hertz frequencies. But the tone of these frequencies are different. So let's imagine that every single person within Ubuntu is speaking the 500 hertz frequencies. But if the person has a different wave, they're actually going to speak something different, which brings our own new unique pattern to our lives. That is going to be a sign, which is much different from the square. Why that's important is because although we are in a group and although we have a lot of people that are on the same frequency, a lot of us speak a different tone. And it's up to us to realize what tone the person's speaking, because when we actually speak at these different tones, we speak a different language to each other. So we have to come up with a way that is going to unite us. And the way to unite us is through the light. Because as I said, when we enter into the light, we can actually change the frequency. And when God said, let there be light, and there was light, he saw it was good, and he separated the light from the darkness, and that's where we get our trap code. When we get the trap code, what happens is that all of those frequencies, if you imagine the stars, the frequencies start to bounce off of all these lights, and that happens in the conscious brain too. It happens in the neurotransmitters and with the brain activity. They're actually all the same. And so when we get electrical impulse within our brain, and this one's, it's big over here and it's small over here, they actually want to balance out. And the way to balance that is to draw lines in between. And when we draw the lines in between, we realize that there is a shape. Because anytime that we have frequency, anytime that we have light, there's always going to be a shape. This is the shape of your reality. This is the shape of your moral compass. This is how we think. This is how we react. Everybody is going to start out with one shape that is going to mean something specific to them, and it's going to be a specific moral. But what's in this middle here is our own creation. So when we come up here, so let's say that we came into this world as a circle, that's going to be the creator and us. We decided that we are going to be circular. We are going to think all around. There's going to be no beginning, no end. We are going to be in a constant trap of thoughts. We are going to be in a constant trap of reality. Time in itself is not linear. It's spiral for us. But in that time, we can fill up our own realities. And each of us have that ability. So when you add frequency to the light, I want to show you how frequency changes the shape of our reality. It changes our morals. So if somebody is sitting here at a 345 megahertz, and let's imagine that this is either our brain, neurotransmitters, or this is the stars, however you want to think about it. But this is the black behind it, and this is the stars. Once we create that frequency, once we put that frequency in, that is when we start to shape. So as you see there, this 345 shape is going to adapt a lot differently than the shape of this 1003, of this 1033. So when we are at different frequencies, we change the shape of our reality, we change our morals. This is the basis of us. This is how we actually think. We all have that ability to do the change. When we think of things of thought, this is done by Dr. Emoto. Dr. Emoto actually found that water had thought, it had consciousness, it had memory. And so what he did was he took bottles of water and he put labels on them. And each of them had something different. You fool, I will kill you, compassion. And he said this to this, oh, you fool, I just hate you. Or he would just, oh, water, I'm so sorry about what you went through. But he would actually mimic these emotions. Now the interesting thing is, as I said, we all have our own shape. Water shape is the Star of David. So it's a 6-point star. So compassion and thank you and all of these things, they all have the same shape, but the reality is changed by the tone, because words all have tones. Words all carry their own frequency. So the frequency of compassion is going to be different. So we're going to see that middle there. We're going to see that reality change. Same with thank you and wisdom and all of these. But see, what we don't see and what we don't think about in people is that we are actually 63% water. Indefinitely. So when we say things like you have wisdom, thank you, compassion, when we have peace, when we have these things, you can see that we're this beautiful person, that we have these beautiful thoughts, and that we can shape our reality. We can go on, because this shape is a sustainable shape that we can dig inside and we can make. But when we come and we say things, either to ourselves or to other people or to nature in itself, like I will kill you, you fool, if we say hateful things, as you see, the frequency gets disturbed. Now this frequency cannot carry its shape, which means it cannot carry its moral, which means that it cannot carry its thoughts and its consciousness. So when we say things to ourselves like, oh, we're dumb, we're ugly, we can't do this, this is the reality that we're creating, just a big mess. We're just creating splashes of nothingness, and we wonder why we're stuck. But when we say things to ourselves, such as the angels are with us, or we say spirits, or we say you know what, we just love grace. Or you listen to Imagine by John Lennon. It changes our entire reality. You have the ability. If water has thought, if water can change, so can you. Because you actually have more consciousness. Now the interesting thing is our frequencies actually are going to gauge, and it's going to reflect on our body, on our mind. If you put 3 feet outside and tested somebody in their electromagnetic field, and now he's testing their aura, depending on where their state of mind is, this is what their aura is going to look like. So somebody with shame, apathy, guilt, this is where their energy is going to be. This is when we pull in, when we're shameful, when we're mad, when we're sad. We don't want anyone to see us, right? So we pull in. We're not able to share our energy. In fact, what happens is we suck people's energy as they come by, because energy always wants to have a balance. But when we're in a place of enlightenment, joy, peace, look at that. This is you in the center. This is the energy that you can share with the other people around you. You don't even have to say anything. They just have to be in your presence. And being in that high vibration, that high frequency, is going to change their reality. It's going to change who they are. So when you are holding yourself to a higher standard, when you're holding yourself to a place of peace, love, and joy, you're already healing people around you. You're already healing the nature and the things around you without you even touching them. But when we put intent into it, when we say we are going to love, we are going to create peace, we are going to create joy, then that opens up even more. And it affects us physically. Because physically, if you put the electrodes to you and you tested the human body, you're going to resonate anywhere between 20 and actually it goes up to 100. But our thoughts create our reality, because if I'm sitting in a place of anger, desire, pride, fear, this is where I'm sitting, in these negative thoughts. This now creates my entire reality of my physical being. If I stay at a place of meditation, if I stay at a place that somewhere I'm going to be positive, now this doesn't mean that you always have to say, oh, everything's awesome, it's going to be so great. It just means that if something bad happens to you, you say, you know what, I'm gonna persevere. This is just another test in my book, and this is going to be okay, and this is going to be lessons. And that's fine that I got this darkness, because the darkness is what gives me my light to make me grow. You see, we grow in the light, or in the darkness, but we expand in the light. And people don't like the darkness because they don't see that. They see it as something bad, but it's actually always a place of lessons. So if we can take that and we can change the lessons, we can actually keep our body at a healthy state. But once we start having these negative thoughts, here we go into headaches and cold symptoms and flus, and it goes down, down, down. And once cancer sets in, this is a place where people are sitting here. But we see a lot of cancer patients change because they say, I won't take it, and they move it up to here. They say, no, I'm not going to do it. They have the willingness, they have the acceptance, and then they have the love. And so we have the ability to change our reality, to change our body, to change our mind, to change our consciousness into a place where it is always healing and always going. Now, not only do we have that within ourselves, but we have that within nature, because people mimic nature. 50% of our DNA actually matches the earth. You can't get away from it. I've tested it everywhere. Cancer cells, this is how healthy cancer cells. When you look at a healthy cancer cell and you look at a healthy sand dollar, you can see the resemblance. Cancer roots, though, when that cancer goes into a low vibration and it gets upset, you can see that it actually mimics the same thing as the sand dollar. Our dead skin, same thing as an agate. Human veins, same thing as the tree roots and the veins within the earth. Human cell under a microscope, pine tree cell. We match it all, which means if we match it, then Earth matches us, which means that we can absolutely change that frequency. And I could go on and on and on and on all day about how we match our universe and how we actually match our reality. This is our solar system. This is an atom. This is our eye. This is plasma. This one I always found most interesting is this is actually a selenite tower. And if you know selenite, it has these little fibers that actually mimic muscles, which mimic the exact layout of how our abdomen goes. This is the human brain. This is the stars. Every single thing that we do, we mimic. Why this is important for us to know is that Ubuntu, as Ubuntu members, we are here to heal the world. We are here to heal ourselves. We are here to heal the people. If we know how and we utilize the tools and we know how to change that frequency, we can absolutely make that happen. And that is what Ubuntu is about. It's about the intent, it's about consciousness, and it's about healing. We absolutely have the ability to do this. And we absolutely can. We have the drive. We already have people on it. We already have things going on around this world. One of the things that I was manifesting this year that you guys know a lot about is Divine Spirits Wonderland. And many times you guys have asked, what is it that we can do with Divine Spirits Wonderland? For those of you who don't know what this is, Divine Spirits Wonderland is a place of harmony, of peace, coming together with people, with the land, with cultures, with different beliefs. We are trying to get together as many conscious people as possible. When doing so, when we get together the right group and the right people and we do the right thing for the land, brothers and sisters, we're going to be able to create an entire new frequency that this world has never seen. Because once we get together and all of us are there in high elevation and we come together in a transcendental meditation, which was shown in 1950 to work with 1% of the population goes and they meditate, they can actually change the entire frequency of the land. And when they did this in Lebanon, they took 1,000 meditators out in Lebanon during the war, and they prayed and they meditated. And what they saw was 700 less deaths a day. When they went and did this in Washington, D.C., they did this with 250 meditators. And what they found was the crime rates had gone down by 52%. They had less tobacco sales. They had less drinking. When they did this in Wales, Wales was actually having a huge problem with their crops and their lands, and they took out 1,000 transcendental meditators there, and they just prayed on the land, and they changed that frequency of the land. And within 3 months, their crops were growing. Within 3 months, their water was clear. This has been done all over the place. So with Divine Spirits Wonderland and the strength of Ubuntu and the strength of a few others, we are hoping that we can actually go around and change the entire frequency of the world. At Divine Spirits Wonderland, of course you guys can check it up on the website. We'll give you that, but I want to give you guys an opportunity to see what we can do together with the Divine Spirits Wonderland and with ourselves, as well as Pure Bliss Ranch, which is where the Divine Spirits Wonderland is. And this weekend, they were talking about all of the sustainability that they were doing. And I will tell you that this is land that is on white earth, and this is land that really needs help. My husband can attest, he was out there this weekend, and the one thing that he was upset about is that these natives don't know how to do their land. They don't know how to grow their own food. They don't know how to meditate. These natives know less than what we know because they've gone to the life of drugs and drinking and overdosing. Everyone that was coming to the lands this weekend that caused any issues were the natives because they don't know, they're lost. And they're asking Ubuntu and they're asking Divine Spirits to step up and be the ones that actually show the people on white earth how to sustain. And Pure Bliss has taken on that role, and they've already started that for us, and we can team up together. The way that they do this is utilizing anything and everything possible that they could do on this land they do for themselves. So they started with the sawmill, and the sawmill they went and they cut up all of the different woods, and they started making walls, they started making benches, they started making things all around it. They make their own stuff, they make their own houses, they make everything. This is kind of the look of Pure Bliss Ranch and the land and what we could actually do with this land. Here they have gardens galore. So what they have actually done is they have gone through and asked people to bring tires, to bring their old pools, to bring anything. They actually use recyclable things. And what they do is they use them as gardens. So they make these gardens with these. So this is their outside garden that they're working on. That's some asparagus that we got to pull this year. They're utilizing the animals. So the pig eats whatever is not composted. They get the eggs from the chicken. They got the goats eating all of the different weeds and stuff out there. They bring in ducks, and what they do is they put these little kiddie pools out for the ducks to fly there when they first come in, and then they switch them by digging out a pond. And when they dig out the pond, they put the water in there and let the ducks swim in there, and they let them go to the bathroom in there and everything. And then when the water dries out, they take it, and that's what they utilize for their soil. Something we have not thought about, but it's really cool. They put up a windmill, so they saw that the solar energy was wasteful down the line, and they wanted to utilize as much as the land as they can. So actually, while we were there this weekend, they went ahead and they put up this windmill here, and you can see that It is actually utilizing power, so now they don't have to go through the electrical company, and they're more self-sustaining here. There are outhouses here that they use. What they do is they make their own outhouses and they dig into the ground, and then they put the outhouses there. And then when it gets full, they just pile over it. That way they don't have the chemicals or anything that the outhouses use. They can have people come over there and they can just move it on down the trail and let nature take it in. With their bathrooms that they have, they actually took everything off of community water, put it on a well, and now they are using septic tanks so that they don't have to have any chemicals or anything coming out while they are utilizing their restrooms during the festival seasons. Here you can see the wood and stuff that they were using. This was actually a retaining wall that they needed, and so they took the wood and they took the benches and started putting it there. Here's all of their little places of gathering for concerts, for different gatherings and stuff that they can do. They made their own bridge, and this is all with their sawmill that they did. Here they have solar lights here, and they're utilizing those for the energy. We got the greenhouse. We got the barn over here. This is kind of where a lot of the artists hang out, and that's a community place where people get to hang out. They have their own pottery place there, so that no longer do they have to buy anything. They actually gather the clay from the land, and they make their own dishes, and they make their own stuff there. Here's the greenhouse again. They plant mushrooms, they plant seeds all over the place, they do a ton of canning, they got all of their berries there, and this is all for the pickings of anyone that wants to join or anyone that wants to help. Why I am showing you guys Pure Bliss is that they have sparked a huge interest in Ubuntu, and the fact that they have already got started doing what they needed to do. I think that it would be a great opportunity if during the Festival of Divine Spirits Wonderland we actually had Ubuntu on the front lines. We have the people working, and we're out there and we're doing this sustainability. So when people are coming in, they're saying, wait, what are you guys doing? Oh yeah, that's Ubuntu. This is what we do. We start in the sustainability, and we start teaching people how they could do off land. And Pure Bliss has already started that. They have said that they are willing to take on and make an Earth spaceship or Earthship. Or if you guys have ever seen those houses, those are made with all of the cans and the bottles. And they said that they'd be willing to house 10 people there that want to actually teach on the land and that actually want to start giving back to the community and the Indians and stuff. So we actually have places where we would be able to sleep and we would be able to work. They're offering the food. They're just wanting kind of any help that we can give them to help give back to their community, to help give back to White Earth, to show the natives this is how it can be done. And if we all do this together and we all do it in a place where we have 2,000 people coming in and they all see and we say, you know what, we need help, and we just put that, if you guys want to go with Ubuntu, go help. And we get people helping, this is going to be a huge way to open up Minnesota, because a lot of our people are coming from Minneapolis to show what Ubuntu is about, to show what we can do, and to get the community work going with the natives, because that would be huge to be able to help them get their community back again.
Where is this place?
This is 3.5 hours northeast.
Of Duluth.
Northwest.
From you, it's about 4 hours from here.
Yeah.
Yep,
From our house,
northwest.
it's 3 hours, 45 minutes northwest. It's right north of Detroit Lakes, like St. Cloud, Detroit Lakes, White Earth is in a straight line.
What is the organization?
240 miles
Pure
northwest.
Bliss, is it a
About
nonprofit?
240
Is it
miles.
a?
They,
Well, that's 4 hours.
Pure Bliss is, right now, it is just reservational grounds.
But it's
They
a,
do
it's a
not have-
reservation, so it's a
It is
protectorate?
reservation, and because it's reservation, we don't need a lot of the city
Right, no
ordinances.
zoning.
No zoning,
Permits.
we literally can do, it's 40 acres of doing whatever Ubuntu wants to do.
Huh.
And it's 40 acres of just making sustainability. This could be one of our big houses to put on the website and say, look, this is what we're doing. And they've already started it, and they've already made it a good spot for us to say, look, this is what we can do. So if we can add on to it, they're actually willing to make a township of the entire thing. And wanting to get more farms. So this could be something that could potentially down the road be one small town. As of right now, within their township that they have, the people that are involved are 20 people that are involved. And,
So Pure Bliss has 20 people that are involved in it?
and, yep, within that.
And do they live there?
Currently, there are 7 people that are living there, and then the others are living on the rest of the reservation.
Okay.
Yep,
In that proximity?
and within 20 miles, within 15 minutes, yeah, absolutely.
Is there a mayor, or who's got the ultimate authority?
There is a mayor, and actually, if we choose to go ahead with them, what they're wanting to do is they are actually wanting to run for mayor. Martin Seeger is one of the landowners there, and he said if we can get this going, if we can, whatever, I will run for mayor so that we can take over this township, so that we can actually be, you know, a
So
self-sustaining
there's a town
town.
up there on the reservation.
Huh?
There's a town, there's an actual town, city hall.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm confused by reservation versus town. I thought they were sovereign and that they didn't have,
Well, they
They
still
still
have a
have-
societal
They-
structure.
absolutely.
Which tribe is it? Is it the
Ojibwe.
Ojibwe?
Ojibwe. Yep, it's the Ojibwe tribe. So
Aren't they
the
already sick of the white man
reservation
messing with
is
them?
run by the reservation. What happens
Trying to
on
help.
that land is
Or put it different way.
100% up to them. To do anything
For sure.
such as to build, to get more farms around that land, that has to go through the city.
around the land.
Yeah.
But within the land.
Within the land, we can do whatever we
Right.
want to do.
Is this project that's being proposed outside of that land?
No.
It's in the land?
Right now, it's within the land. If we can get it going and we can get like the earth or
And that's
earth
40
house,
acres?
and that's 40 acres. If we can get that going, and then we get people coming within Ubuntu, or we get people even from around the world, because we want them kind of coming in through all of us. But once they get there, if we need to expand, then they are willing to go through the town, run for mayor, and get more rather than just that 40 acres, the farmlands and stuff around it.
But within the 40 acres is not a town or anything?
Nope.
That's just its own?
Yep, we can do whatever we want to do. Yep, no permits, no anything. We don't have to go through the city at all. That's 100%
That is huge.
huge.
That's like one of the biggest obstacles.
Absolutely, and that's why I'm presenting it to Ubuntu, because we literally can do what we need to do. We can work with them. We're not working around the city, we're
4
not working
hours
around the
away.
government. We literally can do our dream. We can manifest whatever it is that we want to do. And these guys are willing to allow us to do it. And also, they have great ideas. I mean, the things that they have that are all, things that they want to do that we could help them with. I mean, it's absolutely huge. But like I said, this could be one of the staples to say, look at what we could absolutely do, and especially if we weren't with the government, because like I said, it's not government run. When we do our festival, we don't have to get any permits, we don't have to check with the town, we don't have to do anything, we're just coming in there.
Sounds like a no-brainer. We all quit our jobs and go.
And they actually said if people wanna live there, they're willing to take people that wanna live there, and you're just gonna have to work, you're gonna have to work for your food and everything, but they're willing to take on people that wanna work, and they said, you wanna come up, and they offered us to go move up there, they're like, please guys, get up here, please. I mean, they were almost on their knees begging us, and right now it's just not feasible for our lifestyle. But maybe it's feasible for one of yours, where, yeah, you can just go up there and literally live off the land, and they're doing whatever it is that they can do. I mean, any ideas that somebody has for sustainable living, they're on it. I came up with like a list of 5 different things, and they've already started on them, and that was just Saturday that I said, this and this and this and this, and oh, okay. And they've already started, so they're go-getters, they're ready to go. You guys are ready to go. I just feel like this would be a great showcase for them and for us. We'd all be able to help, and to be able to help the natives is a huge thing. For the white people to be able to teach the natives, that's a big thing. That's a big thing, and that's what they need. I mean, ask Drew, he was not going to come back because of some of the natives, and they were just begging him like, this is exactly why we need you guys, because we don't know any better, and it was. Yeah.
So who has the knowledge as far as like the Earthship and just all of the different technologies, like what you were talking about, like for example, the ducks in the pond and things like that. I mean, who is somebody in charge of that? Somebody has a know-how for that?
Darwin and Martin do a lot of that stuff. I mean, just the stuff that they're doing, is amazing. I mean, they research literally everything. If I'm looking, so like here is, oh, why did it do that? That's so silly, whatever. Sorry guys, I don't know what that just did. Just wants to stay in the middle, I guess. But when we're looking at their camp and stuff and what they're doing, I mean, they have maps of everything. You can go to their sustainability, which they just kind of started this page up. And they, I mean, you.
Sounds like you need to check it out firsthand,
Yeah,
see what they
you
got,
can
see what
go,
they're
they
missing,
have
see what they
everything
still need.
documented as far as what they're doing, how they come up with these different, he swears in this, so that's why I didn't want to show it. You know, they're
Hey guys,
showing everything.
last time I was making a video about composting. Well, today I'm digging out the duck pond. There's their temporary ponds right over there to the side, but this is the hole right here where there was a duck pond last year, and the ducks swim around in it and they shit in it, and then
As I said,
basically this is what I'm digging out of it, is this dark black soil.
And then we
And
play in it, and then we eat it.
Now it's back to clay. I've already dug out.
Fertilizer,
Um,
good soil.
So what's our next step, I guess?
Our next step is going out to the land,
Okay.
seeing what it is that we can do.
A meet and
What
greet.
is it that
Yeah,
they
an
want? I mean,
analysis,
they have
yeah.
a lot of different, ideas and ideas and stuff that they really want to do
Hey,
out
guys,
there. We need to
last
come up with
time-
our ideas of what we wanna do.
Okay.
Martin, sorry, I don't know, they have blueprints on there of the things that they want. I know one of the things that they were looking at, which would be really cool, and Nick, I think you would be epic in working on this, is they actually came up with a pyramid greenhouse, which I have not seen before. But they want to do a 3-level greenhouse that actually has steps and do it in the shape of a pyramid. And he has the entire thing all mapped out. And it's a 3-level greenhouse, which would have food for all of the people that were living on the land. And we can do that throughout the entire year. Like I said, they want to do the earth house or the earth ship, and have that actually be a house that people are living in. You know, I told them we have so many different ideas that we could do as far as planting different things. When we were there,
Can we, just to get moving on
Yeah.
though, can we maybe do a discussion, you and I, or with Tricky?
oh, absolutely.
I'm seeing like a field trip organizing.
Oh, absolutely.
Kind of a deal. And then we can email that out, some dates.
Mhm.
If
That's what we need to
the next
do.
step is, Yeah.
Yep, and like they said if you guys come out and you guys have ideas, let's
Yeah.
build it. I mean, whatever you guys have, whatever we have, let's do it.
And the festival, is it related to this then?
So the festival is gonna be on Pure Bliss grounds. Why I was just bringing this up is because every meeting, what can we do, Melissa, what can we do? And I didn't know until we got out there, and I thought, well, what a great idea. Showcase Ubuntu as people coming by. Also get people in the festival like, hey, you guys wanna help the land? Because everyone who's gone to this land thinks it's a magical place. I mean, it's, once you get there, it's not like any place other in this entire world. But then, yeah, we get the people like, yeah, go out there and help, and then we get people helping, and then people feel good, and they're like, how much more can we do? And then all of a sudden, boom, Ubuntu's getting
Is there-
bigger and bigger and bigger.
Internet access on the reservation?
They do have Wi-Fi.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Yep, generators, whatever it is that we need, they got it all. So just, I mean, literally, let's do a field trip, come up with some ideas that you guys want to do, that you can throw past them when we get there. And let's come up with at least some kind of plan on at least one project that we can present at Divine Spirits that we can really get other people involved in too, so they really know it's not just a talk of this is what Ubuntu is. You guys want to know what it is? Let's show you. Like, let's get out here and show you what we're all about and get out there working. That's what's going to get people excited. That's what got all of us excited. What work can we do? And once we got the work, then we wanted to keep doing it, right? Yeah. So.
you get Michael Tellinger in contact with Martin?
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah,
Just a phone call or something.
yeah. This-
Martin, what's Martin's last name?
Seeger,
Martin Seeger?
Martin Seeger, Seeger.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is really fabulous what you're presenting. I would interject, Ubuntu isn't necessarily a whole bunch of people who already know how to implement permaculture and, you know, earthships and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I think Ubuntu is a bunch of people who have just sort of come out of the society and stepped up and said, I'm in, right?
Absolutely.
I want to be part of this thing.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean, I mean, I think that, I know Alosha Lavrov, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He's an exciting guy, lives over in Africa. He teaches classes on how to build. and
Permaculture.
It's all permaculture, it's water storage, it's, you know, rainwater catchment and living off the land and using the water 6 or 7 times before it goes. And the whole Earthship thing, I've looked at a lot of that stuff online just out of curiosity, right? But for sure, I'm no expert on any of this stuff. I would just be like a willing participant and maybe get involved with planning, organizing, you know.
Just being
something.
workers.
Oh,
Being
right.
part of
Well,
it.
That
right.
guy seems to know what he's doing.
and that's what I'm
Evidently.
saying is that I
So-
mean, all of us have something that
Right.
we can do. What they're doing, they have a lot to teach us, you know? I never would have thought about the duck pond. I
Yeah.
would have never thought about a lot of the things that they're doing. I mean, something as simple as digging holes for outhouses. I was gonna order a bunch, now I'm just gonna make some and dig some holes and people can
Yeah.
do it naturally, you know what I mean? So we have the ability to teach them, they have the ability to teach us. We have the body work to do it, they got the body work to do it. This is gonna help us as a whole, because when we go to this and we're learning from them and they're learning from us and we're all learning together because they've
Right.
never made an earthship before, when we all do this together, it's gonna be a growth for all of us. It's gonna be a growth for the White Earth community, it's gonna be a growth for Ubuntu, it's gonna be a growth for Pure Bliss, it's gonna be a growth for everyone. We will all learn together, and whatever, you know, if maybe you don't know how to make an earthship, but you know how to, you know, to do your gardening and your seeding and your jarring or whatever, where maybe somebody else doesn't. There's a need for all of us, and the fact that we have this open land that any of us can live our dream on, and
Right.
any of us can bounce off, because if I don't know it, Nick might know it, Kelly might know it, somebody will know it, and if none of us know it, well, I'll figure it out together. We got the brain power.